One evening in the Constance High School for Girls, a girl named Annabelle was beaten to the ground by 3 bullies. As Annabelle lied unconscious on the floor, the girls ran away from the scene. Annabelle was still lying on the floor when another student saw her and alerted the school authorities. Annabelle was rushed to the hospital. The police questioned the bullies together with the other students, but they denied knowing anything about the incident. Three weeks earlier, Annabelle got on the school bus. She sat with her best friend Ella as they chat. Annabelle is from a middle-class family. She lived with her parents in a small city. They sat with 3 other girls in the school bus named Natasha, Frances, and Isabella. Natasha was their leader. She was very popular in her school. She was from an elite family. Her father was a powerful man who had influence over the principal of the school. He is one of the school's biggest donors. Because of that, Natasha never got into any trouble in school. Back in the school bus, as Annabelle was chatting with her friend Ella, Natasha called her names and made fun of her, that she looks classless. Annabelle ignored her and continued chatting with her friend Ella. Natasha got angry and spilled a cup of coffee on her shirt. However, Natasha had made plans to sneak out of the bus. She had arranged a student to stand at a point and wait for the school bus. As soon as she enters the bus, she will sneak out of the bus without anyone knowing. Natasha snuck out of the bus. When the school bus got to the school, the students alighted from the bus and they assembled for their morning assembly. The teacher responsible for the morning assembly roll call noticed Natasha wasn't present. She asked her friends about her whereabouts, but they lied, saying that she took ill, that's why she didn't attend. Annabelle tried to wash off the coffee stain on her shirt, but nothing worked. It wasn't the first time she was bullied. Natasha, Frances, and Isabella were known for creating problems, always. The other students feared them. They knew better than picking up a fight with any of them. But they had this special hatred for Annabelle. They bully her at any given opportunity. Natasha found a public restroom and changed into revealing clothes. This would be the first time she would be meeting her boyfriend face to face. They had been texting for a while now on social media. She went to the fancy restaurant she was supposed to meet with her boyfriend, waiting for him. Natasha was happy when her boyfriend Stanley came in. They started chatting. Natasha was worried and nervous that someone might recognize her. Stanley assured her not to worry, that he would take care of things. Back in school, Mrs. Blessing came in to teach the students. She introduced a new student who would be joining them. She introduced Betty to the members of the class. Betty had a unique sense of attitude that was new to the girls. After school, the girls were entering the school bus when Natasha snuck back in with the rest of them. She gisted her friends about her date with Stanley, telling them how cool Stanley was. They were so happy for her. Natasha told her friends that she'll be meeting Stanley again. Unknown to them, Ella heard everything. She was eavesdropping at their conversation. Natasha was in her room, speaking on the phone with her boyfriend and smiling when her elder brother came in and asked her who she was talking to. She grew scared and told her brother that it was only her friend. The brother checked the phone and left. Natasha sighed with relief "Thank God I saved Stanley's number with Frances," Natasha said. Back in school, when it was time for their extracurricular activities, Natasha, together with Frances, was in the same team with Annabelle. Natasha refused to pass the ball to her. Their coordinator asked Natasha to pass the ball. Instead, she threw the ball at Annabelle, who groaned in pain. The coordinator scolded Natasha, but she felt no remorse. Instead, she laughed at Annabelle. Natasha faced no consequences for her actions. She still played in the game. The girls went into the changing room. Natasha noticed Annabelle staring at her. She went and bumped into her. She accused Annabelle of grabbing her inappropriately. The girls called her a freak and all sorts of names. This made her cry. She was very angry and wanted to take revenge on her. Ella walked up to her and told her about Natasha, who is going to sneak out to meet her boyfriend. Annabelle went and informed the principal about Natasha's plan to sneak out of the school. Natasha was summoned to the principal's office and called her out for skipping school. If anyone had done the same, they would have been expelled. But since it was Natasha, the principal let her off with only a warning. Mrs. Blessing was surprised that Natasha wasn't punished. She confronted the principal about it. Her explanation was that she doesn't want to make Natasha's father angry, as he was their biggest donor and he might sue the school using his influence. Natasha was curious to know who ratted her out. She and her friends were burning with anger. Only one person is capable of this, and that is Annabelle, no one else. No one else would dare to rat me out except for that freak, Natasha said angrily. They confronted Annabelle at the back of the school. Natasha asked her why she would rat her out. Annabelle, feeling very scared, denied the accusation. They beat her up mercilessly. Annabelle was about defending herself when Natasha pushed her so hard. Annabelle fell and hit her head so hard on the floor, which made her to pass out. On seeing that she was unconscious, they all ran away. Few minutes later, Betty found Annabelle lying unconscious. She alerted the school authorities. Annabelle was rushed to the hospital. Few hours later, the police came in. They questioned the bullies together with the other students, but they denied knowing anything about the incident. However, Betty saw everything that happened, but she was too scared to speak up. Frances saw Betty run out of where she was hiding and watching the whole scene. She threatened Betty that if she ever speak up, it would be the end of her stay in school. So Betty stayed quiet. Few days later, Annabelle woke up. An assembly was held to find out who pushed Annabelle. Annabelle was asked if she knew who pushed her. She said she didn't remember anything as her mind was blurry. The students with the principal later met up in one of their halls to address the incident that took place. Natasha stood up and stated that she in fact pushed Annabelle, but it was in self-defense as Annabelle touched her inappropriately. The principal asked if anyone had seen this. The whole girls agreed to saying it. Betty knew that Annabelle was innocent, but she was too scared to speak up. The principal agreed that Annabelle was a nuisance to the school and her fellow students. She suspended her for 2 weeks. Annabelle cried so bitterly that no one believed her, and on top of that, she was suspended. Even Annabelle's mother believed Natasha's lies and blamed Annabel for causing problems for her. Annabel was shattered, but soon her devastation turned into anger. Even her friend Ella stopped communicating with her. Natasha and her friends came into the school filled with pride that no one came to know what they had done, and the case had been dismissed. In the school hall, the students were informed about the recruitment of football team, but only 2 students will be needed. Isabella wanted to be selected, but Natasha and Frances laughed at her, claiming that no one could compete with them as they were the best. This caused a rift in their relationship. Annabel confronted Ella about her disappearing on her when she was suspended. Ella said that since she wasn't at the bathroom that day, that she believed Natasha. Annabel was so disappointed in her friend. Annabel gathered the courage to enter the classroom. When she got in, Natasha and her friend Frances mocked her and taunted her. Annabel quickly ran out of the class and rushed to the bathroom. After the classes are over, Annabel went home. She was fuming in anger. She wanted to take revenge on those girls, so she made a plan. Later in the evening, Betty visited her in her home. Annabel asked what she was doing in her house. Betty apologized to Annabel for concealing the truth and promised to always support her. Annabel forgave her and disclosed her plans to teach the bullies a lesson. Betty loved the idea, so they started their plans. As they went to school the next day, Annabel rushed to the bathroom to execute her first plan. She broke the fire alarm, causing everyone to run out of the classroom. She went into the classroom. As no one was present, she took Natasha's phone and opened it. She saw a recording of her. She saw a recording of how they insulted Mrs. Blessing and spoke ill of her. Annabel went into the school's broadcasting room and played the recording for the whole school to hear. The whole school was shocked on hearing the mean girl's voice as they spoke ill of Mrs. Blessing. After this incident, they were called in Mrs. Blessing's office, where they played the victim. Mrs. Blessing was so angry. She didn't listen to them. She punished them by assigning them the duty of a janitor for a whole full day. She also banned them from joining in any sport activities. They wore the janitor uniform and began cleaning the school compound. The other students laughed at them. Annabel was seated on the bench, smiling that her plan worked. Betty came to sit with her. Betty was very happy. They taught them a lesson. Betty also told Annabel to be careful. Natasha and Frances came to meet the principal and pleaded that she should allow them to join the football team. The principal gave them permission against Mrs. Blessing's wish. The next day, during the football tryouts, the bullies Natasha and Frances took part in the tryouts except Isabella. She doesn't want to compete with her friends. During the game, Annabel kicked the ball, but it hit Natasha on the head instead. Natasha was so furious that she wanted to hit Annabel, but she was stopped by the coordinating teacher. After the tryouts, Frances revealed that Betty saw them when they bullied Annabel. They were enraged. They asked why she didn't tell them sooner. Frances replied that she never thought that she would rat them out. They thought she was behind the recording. They decided to bully Betty's little sister. They took her inhaler. When Betty saw them, she tried stopping them. They warned her to stay off their path, or she will regret it. That night, Betty went to Annabel's house. She told her that she's all in her plans against the bullies, and also the principal, who had been covering up for them. They made a plan to target Isabella first. since she was the most vulnerable of them all. In the morning, Annabelle saw her friend Ella with the bullies. They are making her compete with a girl to see who could eat more. The other girls laughed at her. She was so naive. She thought they were laughing with her, not knowing they were laughing at her instead. Annabelle confronted Ella to tell her that those girls were making fun of her. But Ella told her that she is just jealous of her because she's friends with the most popular girls in school. She went back to her friends. Later that evening, the school was organizing a charity event where the boys from other schools are allowed to participate in. After the announcement, the girls rushed in the bathroom to change. They were getting ready to look their best, from their hair to makeups, while Annabelle was busy stalling, getting ready for her plan. Natasha and Frances were very happy as both of their boyfriends are going to be in attendance. Natasha took a picture of herself exposing parts of her body to send to her boyfriend. Isabella warned them that the guy might send it to someone. They laughed at her and called her old-fashioned. Isabella also revealed to them that she too has been talking to a guy for a while on Facebook, but he doesn't upload more on Facebook. Natasha and Frances thought that to be sketchy, but Isabella was smitten with the guy. Few minutes later, Ella came out of the bathroom door looking beautiful. The girls were overly happy for her. They praised her, saying she looks very pretty. Isabella offered to remove a stain from her trouser. She applied a red nail polish on her white jeans. Unknown to Ella, they took a picture of her and posted it and made a fool of her. When she came outside, people haven't seen the post and the stain on her white jean laughed at her. Ella noticed it and cried bitterly. She ran into the bathroom looking very sad. Annabelle approached her. Ella apologized for being rude. Annabelle forgave her and they became friends again. Annabelle decided to let her on her revenge plan against the bullies. When Betty learned that Annabelle shared their plan to Ella, she got very angry, saying that they could be exposed. Annabelle assured Betty not to worry, that Ella won't rat on them. Still, she wasn't convinced and comfortable with Ella. Annabelle managed to convince her as her hacking skills is needed for their plans. A few hours later, the festival started. Many people were in attendance. Back in the classroom, the girls revealed to Ella that the guy Isabella has been speaking to on Facebook was actually Annabelle. They used a non-existent guy to get Isabella into trouble. And since Natasha and Frances are going to be occupied with their boyfriends, it was the perfect opportunity to strike, as Isabella would be alone. All the students were having fun at the event and dancing. Annabelle was approached by her best friend Frank and neighbor. He tried to talk to her, but she was too occupied with her schemes. She dismissed Frank. Frank called her out as an awful friend and broke their friendship. It didn't bother Annabelle because she was caught up in her schemes. Natasha and Frances was busy with their boyfriends, far from the party, enjoying themselves. Isabella felt out of place. Annabelle texted her as the fake guy and kept her entertained. When the both couples were hungry, they asked Isabella to get food since she was less occupied. Isabella agreed. As she was taking the drinks to her friends, Annabelle bumped into her and spilled the drink all over her dress. Meanwhile, Betty informed Mrs. Blessing that Natasha and Frances were busy flirting with some boys. Mrs. Blessing went to look for them. Immediately, the couple saw Mrs. Blessing. They immediately fled from the scene. Annabel was happy that their plan was working. When Isabella brought the drinks for her friends, she realized they ditched her. She tried calling, but no one picked. Frustrated, she left and left the drinks there. She went to look for them and found them at the cafeteria laughing their pipes. When they saw her, they claimed they were distracted. Isabella left angrily to spend the night by herself. Ella took the pictures of the couples in the cafeteria. Isabella, now on her own, was texting her secret boyfriend. The boy sent her a picture and asked for a sexy picture of herself. Unknown to Isabella, the picture the boy sent contained a link to give them access to Isabella's socials. Isabella clicked on the link, fulfilling their agendas. She proceeded to the bathroom, removed her hijab, which was a symbol of decency, and took revealing pictures and sent it to Annabel. The girls were so happy that their revenge plan is finally working. A few minutes later, the picture was uploaded on Facebook from Isabella's page. Everyone started looking at her differently and whispering. She looked at her phone and saw the picture and saw that people made bad comments, saying that they thought she was modest, but now she proved them otherwise. Isabella had a panic attack in front of the crowd. Her friends came to help her. Isabella's mother came to meet the principal and permanently withdrew her daughter from the school because she came from a religious home and she can't mess around. The next morning, Mrs. Blessing informed the girls that Isabella isn't going to be with them anymore. Natasha and Frances was so furious. They were curious to know who the boy is, the one who tricked their friend in sending the picture. They texted the boy on Facebook saying that they will make him pay. Annabel saw the message and laughed out loud. Ella, on the other hand, didn't feel good about what they did. She agreed that the bullies played stupid pranks on them, but what they have done had ruined Isabella's life. Annabel didn't even feel any regret, but instead, she wants to hit the second target. Betty felt they went too far this time, but she felt that Isabella deserved what she got. Later in the day, Betty got a notification that Frances' boyfriend followed her on Instagram. She remembered that he complimented her on the school event. She didn't think much on it. She followed him back. When Frances found out about this, she confronted Betty and slapped her. She commanded her to unfollow him this instant. Betty had enough and refused to unfollow him. Enraged, Frances threw Betty's phone on the floor. During their extracurricular activities, the coordinator was going to announce the two selected students for the football program. Natasha and Frances were sure that they would make it, but the coordinator mentioned Annabel and Frances instead. Natasha got very furious that she wasn't selected. When Annabel went to the washroom, Natasha snooped through her bag and found her journal. She read the journal and saw how Annabel wrote about how she is struggling with her mental health. To get back at Annabel, Natasha tore the pages and spread them around the school. When the students saw this, they started calling her crazy and urged her to go to a mental hospital. When Annabel saw this, she ran to the school bathroom and started crying. Natasha and Frances came to the bathroom and made fun of her so much. All Annabel did was cry. Ella came in to meet her to console her, But Annabelle has had enough. She was ready to talk to her parents to transfer her to another school. Betty joined and tried to convince her to change her mind, but Annabelle's mind has been made up. Betty knew that if Annabelle transferred school, it would mean that the bullies had won. Annabelle shut everyone out. She wanted to be alone. She has slipped into depression. She thought that the only way out is to take revenge. Meanwhile, Isabella wasn't taking anyone's calls. They were beginning to get worried, so they decided to pay her a visit. When they got there, Isabella's mom warned them not to visit Isabella again and stopped calling her also. They reluctantly left. Isabella saw them from the window of her room. Isabella's mom called her a disgrace and compared her to her sisters, who are far more beautiful than Isabella. Isabella was very sad. She had no one but herself. Betty went to visit Ella so that they can plan on how to make Annabelle see reasons. Annabelle was about telling her mom her intentions when she got a text from Ella. It sounded serious, so she rushed to Ella's home, thinking that she's in trouble. But that wasn't the case. Ella said that she overheard Natasha planning to sneak out during their school trip and meet their boyfriends. So it's going to be a good opportunity to catch them red-handed. Ella showed them the pictures of Natasha, Frances, and their boyfriends. They sent the pictures to Natasha and Frances to make them nervous. As soon as the bullies clicked on the picture, Betty hacked their social accounts and gained access to it. Using the information they found on their messages, they planned where and when they are going to attack. The next morning, everyone woke up feeling fresh, excited about the school trip. As Natasha was getting ready, her elder brother came into her room. Her elder brother Toby is a short-tempered guy. He's very controlling, and Natasha is always scared of him. He and her family doesn't support a relationship with a man before marriage. He came into her room that morning and warned her to be of a good behavior. Frances, her best friend, also have her own family problem. Her father is an angry alcoholic who beats her up when triggered, and despite signing the consent form the other day, he ordered her to stay home. Her mother came to her rescue and pleaded on her behalf to let her go. Toby dropped the girls off at the bus stop. Natasha noticed a gun in his car and asked what it was for. Toby dismissed her immediately. The entire school left for the trip, accompanied by Mrs. Blessing. Annabelle kept her eye on the bullies' social media to see who they are texting. When they reached the results, Mrs. Blessing assigned them their rooms. A room is to be shared by 3 people. Betty was surprised to be in a room with the bullies. Annabelle revealed that she deliberately assigned Betty to the bullies' room to keep an eye on them. Betty was angry about Annabelle's decision without involving her first. They got into a heated argument. Annabelle was disappointed. She thought that they would do anything for their plan. Betty entered the room and saw Natasha and Frances. They got into an altercation immediately, but later on decided to mind their business. After settling in, all the girls hung out by the pool and had lots of fun. Natasha decided to go to the spa for some alone time and found that Betty was there. All of a sudden, an old man approached Betty and touched her inappropriately. Betty grew scared and tried to stop him. Natasha saw them struggling and immediately rushed to her rescue and made sure she was fine. She quickly called Mrs. Blessing. to take care of the situation. Betty started to think that Natasha wasn't all that bad. Some hours later, they returned to their room. Frances tried insulting Betty, but Natasha stopped her. Frances asked her what was wrong. She said nothing, that she should spare her any insults. Natasha was so good to Betty that she started thinking twice about the revenge plan. At breakfast the next morning, Betty told Annabelle that she doesn't want to go through with the plan again. Annabelle was speechless. She blamed the bullies for brainwashing her. "I'm not a child. I know what the bullies did to you was wrong, but if we stoop to their level, then we won't be any better than them," Betty said. Betty told Annabelle that she would talk to the bullies about their behavior. Annabelle laughed at her and told her not to worry, that she would do what needs to be done. As soon as it was dark, Natasha and Frances got ready for the club. Suddenly, Natasha asked Betty to join them. Betty fidgeted, but later accepted to go. Frances couldn't believe it. She was shocked. Natasha told her about what happened at the spa and also added that if Betty joined them, she wouldn't be able to report them to Mrs. Blessing. Mrs. Blessing conducted the night check to see that everyone is in their room. They pretended to be asleep so they won't get caught. After Mrs. Blessing left, they wasted no time in heading to the club. Though they were underaged, they managed to get inside because of Frances' boyfriend's influence. Natasha and Frances danced with the guys, while Betty sat by herself. Back at the resort, Annabelle contemplated going through with the plans against the bullies. Ella asked her to talk to Betty first, but she was too eager to make the bullies pay, adding that they might not get a better opportunity. Annabelle went to inform Mrs. Blessing about the missing girls, unaware that Betty was also with them. Ella went to check on Betty and realized that she wasn't there. She had joined the bullies, but it was too late to stop Mrs. Blessing. At the club, Frances' boyfriend tried getting close to Betty. She called him out for cheating on his girlfriend. Jade told her to calm down and stop being difficult. Frances saw them, thinking that Betty was the one getting closer to Jade. She confronted Betty and pushed her away. Jade saw that he was about to get caught. He played the victim and enraged Frances the more. Frances ordered Betty to leave. Betty, feeling humiliated, ran to the bathroom. Meanwhile, Ella and Annabelle had been calling Betty, but her number wasn't going through. Mrs. Blessing went to look for the girls. Annabelle blamed Betty for being so foolish enough to follow the bullies to the club. Ella was surprised how her friend changed so much without any atom of regrets. Mrs. Blessing got to the club and threatened the bouncer to let her in. Natasha and Betty met in the washroom. As they were talking, Betty got a message from Ella that Mrs. Blessing is in the club and was looking for them. They immediately ran out to inform Frances, but it was too late. Mrs. Blessing already found her. Jade ran out of the scene because he doesn't want to be caught as being with an underage girl. That's when Frances knew how cowardly he was. When Mrs. Blessing asked about the others, she covered for Natasha and Betty, claiming that she was all alone. Back in the resort, Natasha and Betty lied about looking for Frances. That's why they weren't in the room earlier. Frances got into trouble alone. On the first day of school, after they got back, Frances came to school with a bruise at her eye. It was evident that her father hit her. Thankfully, she wasn't expelled. she was let out with a warning. Betty and Ella felt bad for her, but Annabelle was very happy. She was proud of what she did and was ready for her final attack on Natasha. She didn't talk to her friends after the trip, so there was no one to stop her. Natasha helped Frances to apply makeup in her face to make the bruise not to be visible. Though only Frances was punished, she wasn't angry at Natasha. Natasha had made plans to meet with her boyfriend. She had done it numerous times, so she was certain that all will go well. However, after everything that has been happening to the group, Frances was skeptical. She urged Natasha to be very careful this time. Unknown to them, Annabelle was inside the washroom. She heard all they said. During the lunch break, Betty thanked Frances for saving her at the club. Frances apologized too to her for always lashing out on her, as it was Jade's fault. They sat together for lunch. That evening, Annabelle looked for Natasha's boyfriend information to use it against her. The following morning, Natasha ran away from the school bus. She entered her boyfriend's car for a drive. Back in the school, an award ceremony was about taking place. The principal is to be presented an award for her excellent and outstanding work. Mrs. Blessing noticed that Natasha was absent and suspected that she snuck out of the bus again. She went to complain to the principal. The principal dismissed her as usual, as it was a very big day for her. Meanwhile, Natasha and her boyfriend arrived at his house so as to spend some time alone and also not worry that anyone would disturb or see them. Before they went in, Natasha told him that she just wanted to hang out and nothing else. Her boyfriend wanted her to be comfortable, so he told her that they could go somewhere else if she wants. But Natasha happily agreed to stay in the house. At the school, the principal was busy with the award. Mrs. Blessing, on the other hand, was angry at how the principal keeps treating her and lets Natasha get away with anything. To teach the principal a lesson, Mrs. Blessing went into the principal's office and called Natasha's father to inform him of Natasha's absence, and also told him that it wasn't the first time that Natasha had skipped school. The entire family immediately came into the school to look for their daughter and speak to the principal. Meanwhile, Frances was going through her photos on her phone when she saw the pictures of herself, Natasha, and their boyfriends at the night of the event. On zooming into the picture, she saw a reflection of Ella on the picture at the back. She suspected that Ella and her group are behind everything. Frances confronted Betty and Ella and asked why they did what they did. Betty apologized to her. That confirmed Frances' suspicion. Betty and Ella told Frances that there was no time to dwell on the past, as Annabelle is surely planning something to put Natasha into problem. Frances was very scared, as she knows how strict Natasha's brother Toby is. Natasha was busy having fun with her boyfriend, and for the first time, they weren't paranoid on someone seeing them. Back at school, Betty and Ella told Frances all they had done. Frances forgave them, if it means saving Natasha. They ran to find Annabelle, but saw that Natasha's father and her brother is in the school already. Natasha's father and her brother Toby sat with Mrs. Blessing in her office and asked what she knew. Mrs. Blessing took the opportunity to tell Natasha's father and brother how the principal wasn't caring about the students' safety and how she turned a blind eye against Natasha's bad behavior. When Toby found out about Natasha's boyfriend, he was enraged and very furious. Annabelle, on the other hand, was in the classroom typing in Natasha's boyfriend's house location on her phone and was about sending it to Toby, Natasha's brother, to make sure Natasha was caught. But before she could send it, Frances, Betty, and Ella stopped her and begged her to reconsider. Frances apologized to Annabelle and promised to never bully or trouble anyone again if she would let this one slide. But Annabelle's mind was made up. She didn't listen to anyone's plea. She immediately pressed the send button. As soon as Toby received the message about the location, he headed there immediately. Natasha was still with her boyfriend. They were seeing a movie and chatting. He just told Natasha that he loved her so much for the first time. Natasha was over the moon. Suddenly, someone banged on the door. Natasha heard her brother's voice and panicked. She knew that no one could save her from Toby's temper. Outside, Toby found Natasha's school uniform, which hung outside to dry, and assumed that he had slept with the boyfriend inside. His face turned red with anger. Back in school, Natasha's father threw the principal's award on the floor. He promised to destroy her and the school before he stormed off. Everyone in the school was terrified because he had the power to do good on his threats. After he left, the principal looked at Mrs. Blessing in disappointment and asked if she was happy. Annabelle was so delighted that her plan worked perfectly. Toby, while trying to get into the house for his sister, eventually broke down the door and attacked Natasha's boyfriend. Natasha and her boyfriend could do nothing but beg him to stop. Toby stopped and reached out to his pocket to get his gun. He pointed it at Natasha's boyfriend. Natasha pleaded for her boyfriend's life, but Toby didn't listen. Natasha stood in front of her boyfriend, begging her brother, but he was too angry to listen. He pulled the trigger and shot his sister Natasha. Back in the school, Annabelle walked down the school hallways with pride, without any form of regret. Frances cried so bitterly. Bullying is a harmful behavior that damages self-esteem, mental health, and overall well-being. It creates a toxic environment where individuals feel unsafe and undervalued. Everyone deserves respect and kindness, regardless of their differences. By standing against bullying, we promote a culture of empathy, understanding, and support for all. Say no to bullying, guys, and thanks for watching. Mwah. Please support our channel by subscribing, comment, and like. It helps in growing our channel, and stay tuned to our next story. Bye.